on, guys. We got to check out this beef between the comedian Andrew Schulz and this guy named Jeff Wittek, who used to work for David Dobrik, if I'm not mistaken. I think he got injured very badly. And Andrew Schulz decides that I'm going to just roast it, right? But he goes beyond it. He starts saying like really disgusting things about this guy getting injured and just no blame being dealt to the person who did it to him. It involves a crane as well. Andrew Schulz is a clown. I used to be a huge fan of Andrew Schulz. I'm talking about day one, before he was famous, before the Flagrant 2 podcast, right? Back when he was on Guy Code. That was my guy. Huge fan. Used to love his comedy. And then somehow he just changed. Once he made a bunch of money off of using men and men's struggles, right? He was, because best believe he was doing Man's Fear and Red Pill type of comedy. He switched up and now it's just like, just disgusting, right? But everyone could do whatever they want. Let's check out this video. I think a YouTuber by the name of Too Lazy to Try did this. He put up all the clips and shows the beef and breakdown. Listen to how disgusting Andrew Schulz is, bro.
All right, so we have a beef heating up between Andrew Schulz and Jeff Wittek. Andrew randomly started trashing Jeff on his podcast during a Patreon episode, and the clip kind of went viral, and Jeff saw it and responded to it and just started going off on Schulz. So we'll get to all that, but if you're not familiar with Jeff Wittek, he was part of the Vlog Squad. He was friends with David Dobrik until David nearly killed him during this stunt that they're doing, where David was in a crane and there's a rope swing attached to it that he's swinging Jeff on. And David sped it up a lot and then slowed it down really fast. And I think he's trying to throw.
I would never do nothing like that. You couldn't pay me enough money to do nothing like that. Like, that seems insane. That's some jackass level stuff. And then for him to just discard all of these guys too, by the way. Once he kind of retired from making a certain style of content, all his team, the little Howard Stern crew, kicked them to the curb, and all of them depended on him, right? Which they shouldn't have. He was a disgusting human being. But yeah, look, so he gets injured at the job, and this is something that you should clown him for, something that's affected him his entire life. Right? For the rest of his life, I should say.
Jeff off of it, but Jeff swung around and smashed into the crane and had a lot of serious injuries from it. He almost lost his eye. I think he has brain damage and he had a bunch of surgeries afterwards. I think he's still having surgeries. So it was really serious. And at first, Jeff was still friends with David and kind of trying to cover for him a little bit. He didn't want to throw David under the bus. So he wasn't talking about it at all. But then eventually they had a falling out because Jeff said that David told him he would pay for all his surgeries, which never happened. And David was scheduling trips with the group during Jeff's surgeries. And it just seemed like he stopped caring about it. He wasn't checking in at all. And also, I think he's trying to put...
I think that's enough of a reason to be upset. Right. I think if I was in that situation, let me not even say what I would have did. That's enough of a reason to be extremely upset, fam. You know how much money this dude was making?
But most of the blame on Jeff.
Millions.
So Jeff eventually got fed up with it and turned on him and decided to sue him as well. And I think most of this drama happened a couple of years ago. And the whole crane thing, I believe, happened 3 or 4 years ago at this point. But every now and then, Jeff will just go off on David. And I think it's usually around when he's about to have another surgery. Because he probably sees David just living the life and traveling around the world, flying private, doing whatever he wants.
Let me see. Yo, Snapchat, you're paying a guy that smashed my skull in for a prank. I'm not with that, right? They're hitting up sponsors and people who pay you. Come on, my nigga. You went to court, right? Now you shouldn't be doing the cancel culture route where you contacted Snapchat. That's a little extra. Left me with lifetime injuries. He also filmed and organized multiple blanks. He did. He did. I remember that, actually. That was pretty nasty. Especially the one with the black dude. Oh, he did him dirt. I don't even know his name. That was foul, my nigga. Charges should have been pressed. I'm not going to go into extreme detail, but what they did was they lied to this man. They told him that he was going to do a video where he kissed this girl that he had a crush on, right? But she was going to be wearing a mask. And it was a man. One of them, actually, got the guy's name. One of his flunkies, as used to be always in the background. They not only did this once, if I'm not mistaken, they did this twice to the same guy. That's fucked up. That's not a prank. I don't think that's funny in any way, shape, or form. That's not hilarious. That's fucked up, right? And he knew who to do that to.
Wants and making all this money from it. Meanwhile, Jeff is still dealing with all these injuries and medical bills and everything that David caused, but it seems like he couldn't really care less. So I could understand how Jeff gets fed up with it. But some people think he needs to just get over it at this point, and it's been long enough, and he needs to just move on from it, which, of course, is what Andrew Schulz.
This David Derbick dude was not a good guy, bro. This nigga was foul. He was foul. Right now, the whole you running a business, whatever. I don't care about that, right? These people being your employees, I don't give a damn about that, right? But then when you start like doing the extra stuff, it's like he literally is a business, and this is the business or the establishment doing something foul to the common worker. That I'm not gonna like that, right? No matter how the fuck you slice that up, that's foul. That goes against all my principles, right? So for Andrew Schulz, someone who was preaching the same shit that I be saying, for him to take this and like go from the big boss mentality to like he's Vince McMahon or something, like the evil Scrooge McDuck shit, like what's going on?
And his giggling goons seem to agree with.
That's also his favorite.
Isn't it Jeff Wittek? Is he still crying about that, dude? Why is that guy still crying about that? I got hit by a crane and I'm blind now. It's like, get over it.
No idea what you're talking about.
There's this guy, and then the fact that he has the balls to be a barber still. No patch-eyed motherfucker is going to touch my hair. Look at my haircut.
I was going to say, it looked like you did your haircut with 2 rocks. It looked like you got a prescription hairline. It was prescribed by the doctor. Nigga did your hairline with a scalpel. Nigga, yo, you don't want to do the hairline jokes, nigga. I'll sit here for 5 hours. I remember I made this one person cry. It was a content creator behind the scenes. I'm not gonna expose him. I'm not gonna expose them. They started roasting, and I sat there and roasted their hairline for an hour, and they literally cried. I'm not gonna tell you which content creator that is. Yet.
But seriously, why is he still whining about that? What's the deal?
I guess he like went blind or almost blind from it.
But now he's not blind, right?
I'm not sure. I think he has to keep going through more surgeries, but I don't know the stats.
So David Dobrik knocked him with a crane or something?
I guess. I don't know.
Spun him around on a crane.
But he agreed to do it?
Yeah, but he didn't know how fast it was going to go.
Oh, that's a good excuse. Well, if it was going to go 10 miles per hour, I would have done it. I didn't know it was going to go 20. You knew you were going to do some dumb, dangerous shit, and then something bad happened.
Yeah.
The only reason we're watching is because we hope something bad happens.
True.
When somebody's on a crane, you're not going, man.
Right. So if someone gets like injured badly during like one of these TV shows or things like that, we just expect it. What if you take a dangerous job, right? Like you're a construction worker and you got to be like on the edge of a cliff building something and something bad happened. You knew what you was getting into. Is that what you're going to tell somebody? That's the dumbest shit in the world, fam. What? No, especially not the way it was done. It was supposed to go normal speed as a prank. David sped the damn machine up, which caused it to go way faster than it was supposed to, leading to these lifelong injuries from this man. And you just like, shut up. What?
I hope they abide by all the rules and regulations of this thing.
Yeah, like all the jackass people, if they got hurt, I don't give a fuck.
That is the point of the activity. Yeah. You were just his dumbest friend that he selected to do it. He's not asking the smart friend. He's asking the fucking idiot who's willing to get hit in the head by the crane.
It's so funny. Schulz acts like the guy just agreed to get smashed in the face with a crane. I mean, I think he even acknowledges that it was a stupid decision. I don't think anybody's really denying that. But Dobrik was acting like an idiot, of course, and put his friend's life in danger for content. And I think the only reason Jeff even complains about it still is because David just doesn't want to take any responsibility for it. You know, he probably has the same mindset as Schulz. Like, hey, this guy was dumb enough to get up there and trust me with this thing. So he knew anything could happen. And I understand the jackass comparison, but with that, I mean, first of all, I don't know if anybody's even gotten this injured during those movies, which is pretty crazy. You know, that says a lot. And also, if you do get injured, I'm sure your medical bills are covered. And also, Jeff claims
How old is Too Lazy? I think it said there's movies. Yeah, they had movies, but it was a show first, my God. And they got injured on the show quite often. There's niggas was breaking tailbones and all types of shit. But that was what they signed up for. They signed up to do extreme shit. The pranks that they would do if they would like say, for instance, I like that one prank they did where they had like a big hand, right? They made like a big hand and they like moved it away from the entrance. They would tell people to walk in and then let their big hand come and slap them. That was funny as hell. And they put powder in the hand. Oh my gosh, that was funny. But it wasn't like people getting hurt. Nigga, that shit was a big padded hand. Nigga, that shit had metal bars and spikes. It was like, prank. You can't just go, well, you knew you was getting into something stupid. That's insane, nigga. As far as the Jackass guys, they were well aware of everything that they were about to do. Everything other than the small pranks, right? But yeah, they did get injured a lot on Jackass, but they was well aware of what they were about to do.
So before he got on the rope swing, David agreed to just keep it slow, but he was trying to do like a prank where he swings around fast and throws Jeff off.
When I got on the rope, it was supposed to swing slow. And then this little dumbass tried to prank me by flinging me off. That's why the shit happened, you know? So it was a fucking silly prank for him to get more views that risked my life and forever gave me lifelong injuries.
And I don't know if Schulz even knows much about the situation. I mean, it sounds like he just sees headlines and gets really annoyed by it. I mean, at least Akash is smart enough to be like, yeah, I don't know enough about the situation, so I'm not going to give my opinion. But I was surprised Mark had nothing to say because I saw Jeff has actually been on his show before. And I think he actually said some positive things about Schulz on there. So you would think Mark would try to defend him a little more.
That's why you don't see me collabing out in these streets. It's one of the many reasons. Motherfuckers will act like they all cool with you and buddy, and it's just to get the clicks and views. And they will dog you the next day. They will have somebody on the next day that's been trying to lie and smear your name, and they don't give a fuck because they just want to get views.
Maybe that's why he's upset. Like when he woke up, he realized, oh, I was the only one retarded enough to do this trick. And then we still got to hear him cry about it. Right?
Yeah, no, I can't not support you. It's improv, you know? Yes, and.
Do you think it's like...
I don't know enough. I just know David Dobrik was seemingly not very well liked.
Yeah, but he could be a piece of shit too.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I don't know if Jeff is a piece of shit. I don't think he's a piece of shit. But it is annoying. It's just enough with it. Like, come on.
That is crazy.
Did he do a new thing?
That he's on the couch with someone who's literally sat there and interviewed this man for 4 hours. And he's sitting here saying some piece of shit, and you not saying nothing. You's probably all smiles and giggles on that damn couch interviewing this nigga. But now when it comes time to go, I actually know this guy, man. He's pretty decent. You say nothing because Andrew Schulz signs your checks. This nigga is David Dobrik.
Did he come out with something?
It's just every day.
That's why he's
it's like, oh my God, my eye. It's like, oh yeah. I don't know what happened to Slick Rick's eye. He don't bitch about it every goddamn night. How many one-eyed motherfuckers do you got to hear about it?
Yeah, so most people felt like this was in bad taste, but some Schulz fans are like, yeah, he's being a dick, but he's trying to be funny. You know, he's just joking around, and it's not that serious. But obviously, Jeff wasn't too happy about this, which is understandable. And he responded. First, he posted on Schulz's Instagram. He made a comment and said, nobody cares. You're not funny or likable one bit. And then also, he's recently on George Janko's podcast, and he just went off on Schulz.
Andrew Schulz started yapping, saying, oh, when the is Jeff Wittek going to shut the fuck up about it? You dumb, arrogant, egotistical motherfucker. I will knock you out cold in front of all your friends on the couch. Those fucking punks. It was out of control. Even the shit he did with Steiny, like, bro, who the fuck do you think you are? Like telling these kids, like, I'm too cool for this podcast. You know, he was Flagrant's basically Impulsive 2.0. They're going downhill.
Yeah, so that was great. I'm glad he's calling out Schulz. You know, he's needed a reality check for a while now. I've talked about it plenty of times on the channel. The guy's ego is just out of control. And it seems like nobody on his pod ever checks him either. Like, that's part of the problem. You know, when he brought this up, it sounded like he didn't really know much about it, but yet he was still very opinionated about it, and nobody seemed to question him.
He does.
But that's what happens when you're surrounded by yes men.
This nigga Schulz act like he know everything, bro. This nigga don't even say, okay, tell me the information. No, he just goes on like these long ass things. Like, I can't even call them rants because he makes it seem like they're like the greatest ideas ever. Like, I had an epiphany. and he just goes on this long ass thing. It's stupid.
I mean, the fact that Mark didn't even say anything about it when he had Jeff on his podcast is pretty crazy. I mean, you would have thought at least he would be like, you know, Jeff's cool. I've had him on my show before. He said nice things about you. And there's just more to the story that we're probably missing, you know, because at first Schulz brings it up, but then he asks everybody else, like, what's his deal? Like, what happened with him? And it sounds like nobody really knows. So it probably would have been best not to comment too much on it. But Schulz, he just seemed really annoyed by seeing the headlines and everything. I mean, I guess he just can't get away from it, even though he
That's what I'm thinking. He might be friends with David Durberg, bro. That's what it just sounds like.
doesn't really know much about it. But yeah, now Jeff, he is pissed and he wants to fight Schulz.
So I was pissed when I saw it. You know, there's not many
Because you
things.
feel like he's being he got on his high horse. He's doing really well, and now he's starting to punch down on Nelk and you, and
Yeah.
and you're over that. You're saying be more graceful being on top. Where you're
Yeah,
at.
it's like, when is it gonna end? When the fuck is it gonna? It's like, say something funny, bro.
Yeah.
You're a comedian, you know.
Well, if
Tell
he's
tell jokes.
If he's punching down a lot on people, then I mean, it's coming from an insecurity. Have you talked to him about it?
Just threats.
I-
I was like, do you want to do an influencer boxing match, or do you want to just do it on the street? Should I just beat you up on the street?
No, you shouldn't be fighting with the injuries, man. Like, what?
Or could I do it like?
it could go to a level that it should.
Yeah,
I would love to see you guys sit down and talk about it.
I would love to see him at like a
Why
UFC
would
event
they
and
sit
just
down?
slap the shit out of him.
Fair.
Would you have him on your
This video is for educational purposes. I'm not condoning any kind of violence.
podcast to try and like talk things through? Maybe you can also mess with him a little bit on your pod.
I feel like it wouldn't get a lot of views. He's kind of fallen off. You know, I'd rather just have George on every week because he's crushing it, my man.
Thank you, my man.
So hopefully that fight happens. You know, it'd be interesting to see how Schulz responds to
Yeah,
this.
hopefully
If he
that
responds
fight
to it.
happens.
You know, I bet he might just be like, oh, he's not even worth my time.
I don't think Schultz fighting nobody. That nigga can't even run on treadmills. He got a hard time dealing with a treadmill. You think he gonna be able to fight somebody? I don't think so. But that's just my opinion. I think it was like a real horrible thing. Like that was disgusting to even. I'm cool with jokes, but to play down in that type of way to make it seem as if it was like insignificant, the amount of damage that man took for something that did not have to be done. Yeah, that was pretty foul. But that's just my personal opinion. Tell me what yours is down in the comment section, hit the like button, all that good stuff.